Hello everyone, welcome to mypinkstamper.com. I have a really fun technique to share with you guys today. I'm going to be using our host stamp set, one of our hostess stamp sets, Tranquil Tulips, and I'm using it with One Big Meaning stamp set. So I'm going to be sharing with you a fun technique, and like I said, and I'm going to be making two different cards, but they're going to look a little bit different, and I think you're really going to like this. So let's jump right in, and we're going to go ahead and get started. The very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out my Big Shot. So I like to do all of my cutting first when I'm making my projects. I pull out my Big Shot, and I decide what elements I'm going to use, or if I'm using a stamp set that has a coordinating framelit set, I like to use that together. So I'm using our Whisper White cardstock, and I'm using that with our stitched shaped framelits. So these come in a set of ovals, circles, and squares, and they're all in the same set, and you get a bunch of different sizes. So this is a really versatile framelit set. I use it all the time. If you guys take my online classes, I use this in almost every single online class. The next thing I'm going to do is take our Berry Burst cardstock. These just have to be big enough to work with the framelit. And this framelit, this is from our layering ovals. So when you get our layering ovals, layering circles, or layering squares framelits, the great thing about them is they have the scallops along with the smooth, but they coordinate with the stitched shapes. So if you'd like to have one element be stitched and one element be smooth or scallop, they work together. Now, did you notice that I'm using two pieces of our Berry Burst cardstock? So you can cut usually around 2 sheets of cardstock, unless you're using a really thick cardstock. Sometimes it doesn't always work. And I'm using the precision base plate. This also works with just our regular multi-purpose platform. If you want your cutting pads to last longer, it's best just to use with our regular platform. But I actually prefer using the precision base plate better, so I use it all the time. And I don't mind my plates being really worn out. I don't mind that at all. Okay, so I'm going to keep this out actually, because I'm going to switch this out. Let me show you really quickly. This is what the stitched shapes look like. They have a stitched look on them. Can you guys see that? The stitched look. It looks really fun. It's a fun element to add to your cards and your scrapbook pages and your boxes and your bags and tags and pretty much everything. And then let's look at this here. Woo. And then we have our scalloped ovals. I might have said circles, but I meant to say ovals if I did. Okay, I'm going to be making 2 different cards. I told you that. So now I'm going to pull out our Lemon Lime Twist cardstock. Aren't these fun and bright colors together? I absolutely love them. These are cut at 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And I'm going to be using our regular multi-purpose platform, and I took off the piece that comes on top. You can take that off if you have one of our older platforms. You can simply just open it and then put it in here. You're going to put one of the cutting pads at the bottom. And then I'm using our Petal Burst embossing folder. And the great thing about the embossing folders is you can use 2 to 3 of our pieces of cardstock in them at one time. So if you're making multiple Christmas cards, thank you cards, bridal shower, birthday invitations, you can use more than one at a time, which helps the process. It speeds it up a lot. So, and I make a lot of thank you cards for my customers, so it's really nice to be able to use more than one at a time. Okay, let me show you this. If you've never seen this, it's magic. Do you guys see that? Doesn't that look so gorgeous? So beautiful and so fun. Now, I'm going to be starting with this card here first. Now I'm using the Whisper White first, and I'm going to be stamping on this one as well. The 2 colors that I'm using are these 2 right here, and I'll tell you which ones they are as I'm using them. Okay, I'm using, this is a photopolymer stamp set, so it's see-through. You can actually see it because this is 2-step stamping, so you can actually see through it to layer it up on your cardstock, which is super nice. So I'm just using the smaller tulip. And I just need a quick background piece of paper, so let me grab that really fast. I'm using a little bit of our Stampin' Grid paper, and I'm just going to fold it up right here. I use this quite a bit. Okay, so I'm going to ink up our Berry Burst. I'm going to ink up the stamp with our Berry Burst Classic Stampin' Pad. And I'm using the one that's more solid. Now this is a watercolor look stamp, so it's not going to give me a solid color. If you can look at that closely, if you see how it has the different variations and the different texture, it's supposed to look like that because it'll give me a nice watercolor look. And so I'm going to ink it up, and then I'm going to stamp it off, and then I'm doing what's called second generation stamping, which means it's just a lighter version of the color that I was using, which is really nice because you can use our two-step stamping stamp sets with just not as many colors. You can just use the same color and just stamp off. And this part here is the top. We're going to just stamp it directly on here, and it gives you this two-dimensional look. Isn't that so pretty? And now I'm going to use our Lemon Lime Twist Classic ink pad, and I'm going to grab the stem here, and I will need the background stamp as well because I think it might be a little bit long. Whoops, I think I might have missed it a little bit. There we go. Got some of my clear acrylic block, and now I'm also going to take the leaf, and I'm going to just do this one. I didn't. There we go. Great thing about these stamps is I can see through it to make sure I have it in the right spot. So there is my one stamp. And now I'm going to pull out my Berry Burst ink pad just one more time. I'm going to quickly do this part. This is a piece of our Whisper White ink again, our cardstock, and this is cut at 1 inch by 5 inches. And that way I can use this Thank You for Everything and More. And this is our Red Rubber Clear Mount stamp. These come in clear and wood. I only use the clear. I do not use the wood at all. They take up too much room in my craft room. And I have to be able to have room for all of my goodies. More goodies, more and more goodies. Okay, so that says thank you for everything and more. And now I can go ahead and put this card together really quick. So I'm using our snail adhesive. Everything you see that I'm using in my video can be purchased directly from my shopping page, mypinkstamper.stampinup.net. I will have a supply list in the description of this YouTube video or on my website, mypinkstamper.com. I also have it on the screen for you guys. Okay, so let me grab one of these. Now the great thing about the embossed cardstock is there's two different sides. So this one is debossed, right? Is that right? Where it goes in, and then this one's embossed where it's raised up. So I'm going to go ahead and have the embossed side on the bottom, underneath. I'm going to put that directly on my basic black, and the basic black cardstock is cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to put this, that's a lot of adhesive, Robyn. I didn't mean to use that much. I just couldn't help it. I'm just going to add that right here on the bottom. And now I'm going to take a piece of the Berry Burst cardstock. This is cut at 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 inches. And I'm just going to fold it over. And this gives you a basic A2 size card, which works with our medium envelopes. We have Whisper White and Berry Vanilla. And it works perfectly in there if you'd like to send the cards that you make. Okay. And I'm going to add this right here. And I'm going to take some of our dimensionals. So this is just your basic, cute, poppy color, but I'm going to show you a fun new technique, and I think you're really going to like it. You want to really impress your friends and your family and do something a little bit artistic, but it's totally easy to do. It's not something that's super hard. Okay, so let's finish this card first. Okay, there's our one card, and isn't it just gorgeous? Let me zoom in for you guys so you can get a really good look. Just super beautiful, classic, and your family and friends are sure to love that one. Okay, so the next card, I'm using the exact same materials except I have changed out. Did I use the wrong color? Oh, I did, darn it. That's okay. I'm gonna make it work. I think I am going to make it work. Hold on, what is that for? Yes, I used the wrong color, but it's okay. It's gonna look great. I'll show you the other variation in just a second. It's not really the wrong color, but I have here the different colors that I'm using here is I'm using the stitched shaped oval. I have it in basic black cardstock, and then I have the layer here instead of the basic black layer like I used on this card. I'm using Whisper White cardstock. Everything else is the exact same. So I'm going to tell you though, we're going to be stamping a little bit different. We're using our Whisper White craft stamping pad. Now our new Stampin' Up! Whisper White ink pads come uninked, and they come with the Stampin' the white ink. So you just squeeze it on and you massage it in. I get this question a lot. It's so thick. So squeeze it out and then just use like the back of a plastic knife or a plastic spoon, and just massage it in, and you can put it as much as you want on there. This one I didn't really add a lot. I just kind of have it a little bit in there so I can still add it later to freshen it up. And I'm going to be using that with these 3. So I want to go ahead and take this is my Stampin' Scrub. You guys are getting a long video today. Normally my videos are under 10 minutes, so this one just has an extra technique. So you'll want to watch to the end to show you the difference and show you how to do this fun one. I try to keep my videos fairly short for you guys. Okay, so now this one's super fun because we're going to be doing what's called color on color. So we're putting, to show you how to add color to our darker color cardstock. So you can use this with black, you can use it with crumb cake, going gray, our basic gray, chocolate espresso. You can do the same technique. So I'm going to take our Whisper White. I want to make sure I get that ink off so it doesn't get on my white pad. It might get a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, I'm going to really ink this up. Now, it's kind of solid. It's not going to still stamp solid because remember this is a watercolor. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this on here, and I'm going to lift it up and make sure I get it pretty solid. Okay, so do you see how that looks? It's just white on here, and you're like, oh, well that's just white. That's not a big deal. Did I clean these off? Did you guys see me clean this one off? I want to make sure that I cleaned it off first. I thought I had, but just to make sure. Okay, now I'm going to take the stem, and I do need my background paper for this. Just don't want it on my countertop. Okay. I have my white stem, and then I have this leaf here. I'm doing in white as well. And that's so pretty. And you guys are like, wait, I don't know, what are you gonna do? I'm so confused. Robyn, you are confusing me. So basically, I'm just doing white on black right now. The pigment ink. So this is the ink that you would use to emboss. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set this. If you don't set this or emboss it, it will smear and it will run. So I'm just using our heat tool. And I'm not adding any powder on it or anything. All I'm doing is setting it and kind of helping it to dry and just set up so I can touch it and it won't smear. So if you want to do the chalkboard look on your cardstock with your ink, you'll want to make sure that you set it with a heat tool. This is our Stampin' Up! Heat tool. I love it. So I just set that. And now what I'm going to do is set this aside. And now I want to use my Stampin' Scrub, and I want to use the mist again. And I'm going to quickly clean this right here. Clean off the white. And then I'm just going to clean that off. Okay, and I don't need the bottom part, so I just need these 2 pieces here. Now this is the fun part. Are you guys ready for the fun to begin? Oops. And the loudness. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Berry Burst, and I'm going to use the top layer again, just like I did on this one. So I want you guys to look at this one for a second. Okay, so now I'm going to ink this up, get it very inky, get it berry inky because it's Berry Burst. I'm just going to stamp this directly on top of that for my layered look. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And now I'm going to take the lemon lime twist. Lemon lime twist. I love saying that. Lemon lime twist. Lemon lime. And I'm going to ink up and just put it right over the top again of this one. It's okay if it's off a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. What it's going to do is just going to color up the white. Can you see that? I want to give you guys a really close-up look. And I will have a picture at the end of the video. Doesn't that look really awesome, really fun? All right, so now we can finish up this card. And it's going to look kind of opposite of that one, just a little bit. So let me go ahead and you might want to set that up just a little bit because you're putting it directly on top of another color. So this will help your ink dry just a little bit faster. I can see that the berry is a little bit shiny. So I'm just going to just kind of dry it because it's harder for it to absorb into the paper when it's directly on that thick ink. Okay. I saw that I had it zoomed in, so now it's zoomed out. Okay, so now I'm going to use the adhesive, put this on here. Do basically the same thing. Let me go ahead and stamp this one really quick. Now let me show you what this card was supposed to look like. So here's the two kind of opposite cards, right? You guys get to have a good look at that. And that is a fun technique. I'm going to show you a couple other cards I made at the end of this video using the same technique in just a second. So here's another version of this card, and I used the white instead of the black. And then this one I actually used the black instead of the white. So you can do it either way. You can do them however you'd like to do them. Mix it up. Let me show you really quick another project I made with the same technique. Okay, so I have another one I used the same colors. Oh, and I forgot, on these ones I added our bows. So you can do lots of fun. You can keep it super simple, or you can add an embellishment. So I added some of these are called In Color Bitty Bow Embellishments. And so I added some of the Berry Burst on there. So it gives you a little bit of a variety. You can step them up. You could also keep it simple and not emboss the background. So there's different ways to step these up. So this is the same technique. This is using our Swirly Bird stamp set along with our triple banner punch. All of the colors are the same. This is just a really basic card. So if you're still kind of thinking, oh, I'm just learning how to stamp and I wanted to keep it really simple, this is a really good combination. This is just using 3 ink colors, Berry Burst, Lemon Lime Twist, and our basic black. And then are you ready for this? And then this one I did the same thing. I used the Whisper White, and then I used Lemon Lime and Berry and black. So it's the same concept. So you can use it with different colors, and I could see it with butterflies, I can see it with flowers, all sorts of fun things. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video. Again, you can order anything you see here directly from my shopping page, mypinkstamper.stampinup.net. My name's Robyn Cardin, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my long video. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.